I think this is a great moment today that we are celebrating not only the success of PSUs, but also that how PSUs have really built the nation. And the entire effort of this is because, you all know, because you have been part of the PSU movement and you have been working, that the whole thinking of creating PSUs was to see how we could create the entire thinking about nation building. At the time when, industries and the industrialization was taking place, PSUs came forward and also took the entire active part in the whole process of creating India. And what we, I think, celebrating the way the India, if you look at how our nation, how our country is looking, is basically, I want to thank the PSUs to see they have contributed a lot in the whole effort of creating India. So I want to give a loud applause to all of you that, you have all created what we see as India today. So I have a distinct panelist today, and they will be talking more on the whole effort, what they are creating and how they are contributing to the whole effort of the whole thinking about PSUs and what their contribution is on this. So I will, to Sanjeev, the whole thinking, but you come from Microsoft. If you look at PSUs today in this, the whole state of the Maharatnas, the mini Ratnas, and the Ratnas, what the government and the fraternity has created. What do you feel that you're from the perspective of Microsoft on also looking at the whole digitization in this country? What is your thinking about, if you can throw light on this? And because you come from a more digital company as such, we want to listen to you that, what is your contribution and how you are taking it forward from the digitization perspective from Microsoft and contributing to PSUs.
Thank you, Parul. Parul, you said a big clap for all the people here. We have not done it, so let's do that first. Thank you, Parul. Very good evening. I think you've said the nation building has been done by the PSUs, not only from picking up the GDP, but actually empowering the citizens. I can recall my own, grandfather. From there onwards to the generation, the PSUs has been the important pillar. Also making into the modern way of looking into the things, from developing the township around the PSU, how you have an urban culture with the core of Indian philosophy in this. So from the historical perspective, you see the PSUs has been a very strong pillar of the success of the country. I also remember Honorable Prime Minister said almost 4 years back, when, in Gujarat, IT is equal to IT. I don't know whether you can recall that statement or not. And it was like information technology is equal to information technology, but then he elaborated in different fashion. He said India today is equal to India tomorrow. So that means he was able to visualize that if we are looking for tomorrow, the future of the country, the important pillar is gonna be now of information technology embedded in every corner of the industry and the enterprises. And so PSU comes very strong pillar, and hence the information technology becomes an important embedment into this journey. I just want to pick up a few thoughts here. If you see 3 different elements from the enterprise perspective. A, enterprise which is meeting with the clients which are there for the enterprise. The second is enterprise own culture. And the third is how we are communicating between these clients and the culture of the enterprise. And I see the digital becomes an important portfolio when it connects. For example, if you see the client's experiences, this is going to be changed drastically as you're seeing today. Not only the urban or the rural population, but the entire world is getting connected and the market is getting open. So how you're putting up a systems and processes which experience of the citizens from the digital forums comes back to you. That's the one level. The second is the productivity within the enterprise, the operations within the enterprise, how they're able to see the modern way of functioning and bringing insights from the decision-making process, saying that, oh, if you have done this, could have been this level of production. If you have done this product, this will be the market size looks like for you. Can you bring those insights from a data which is available? And all these business models of productivity and the citizens and the clients are connected with one funnel, which is the data. And how beautifully you're able to use this data is actually bringing up the energy and the growth of the nation. Our example is PSU. So let me pause here and give it back to you.
I think what you have also said is the whole aspect of engagement. You know, when we work with clients all over the world, our main thinking is that, you know, what will be the client engagement as such. You know, what you're talking about, the IT, what IT has created is the whole engagement. For example, on through a tablet or through your PC or through your handphone, today you are connected, and what has happened is that connection has been brought forward by the whole technology, and that technology is important. So I'm just reiterating that, you know, what you have said on the whole thinking about, you know, what kind of engagement people are bringing, and that engagement is only possible if you have high speed and also technological advancement and the connection as such. I now go to Jay. Jay, you are in analytics, okay? And I think not many people understand analytics. You know, first of all, I think you should also demystify the whole aspect of analytics.
Yeah.
That's the first question.
Great.
The
Thank you.
other question is that to see that how analytics can be used for our public sector
Yeah.
and for the masses as such, because today, you know, when we talk to so many of our, you know, stakeholders,
Yeah.
people more and more want to know
Yeah.
what people are thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thinking process can only be possible when we look at a big data set.
Yeah.
And through the big data set, how we analyze and how we bring that report. So that's what is important. So
Right.
my question to you is, one, you have to demystify analytics.
Okay.
The second question is how we can use in layman's language analytics for the use of the masses. Two questions.
Great. I think, Parul, that's really great. You've handed down a big responsibility to me. You've asked too many questions in one. So, anyway, thanks, guys. So, you know, when we incubated our company in May 2015 at IIT Bombay, you know, our business plan was, you know, passed by the, you know, incubation body and all. But at the end, everybody asked us one question. You see, there's every shop down the road calling itself analytics. What are you? So I said yes. You know, we need to define the identity of analytics more than the identity of the organization. What is analytics? So, you know, what you people see today is mostly dashboards. I mean, everybody renders a dashboard. A dashboard is something which says, you know, like, okay, this cricketer scored so many runs last match before that, this is what he's scoring today. That's a dashboard. Analytics is actually far beyond that. It's actually about finding a cause and effect relationship. It's being able to demystify which is not visible and say, I can predict something. So for example, you know, we did a very interesting project when we started. You know, we were working for a United States law firm, and you know, they told us, look, we have data for Section 240A. Now, Section 240A is the section within the United States law which says that, look, if you're an illegal migrant and you know, you've been asked to leave the country, you can still appeal for clemency. You can say, the country where I'm going back to is infested with the mafia. There are a lot of warlords. I'm a woman, I'm not being treated well there. I have financial dependents in the United States, well, I can't go. I have people medically dependent on me, I can't go. So a very important immigration lawyer from the United States came to us and said, now, guys, can you develop a model by which, you know, I will put all these parameters and then you will tell me, you know, whether the judge is going to seek, you know, pardon them, you know, grant them clemency or not. This is exactly what analytics is. Analytics is not dashboard, it's not BI. Unfortunately, every company down the road calls itself analytics. Everybody says we put it on the cloud. Guys, analytics is about getting that demystified prediction, something that's not easy and directly coming to the human eye. So first, that is what analytics is about. It's about saying, I can't find a cause and effect relationship. I'm not able to predict something. Now tell me what to do. That is the first thing. That is where analytics comes in. Now, what is its relevance to modern India? First, to the PSUs, and second, to the people of this country. Actually, a lot. Governments across the globe have invested a lot in analytics to find out, for example, where they should go and locate a particular type of hospital. Or if, in Western nations, there is a lot of senior citizen support. So how they should be deciding their priorities. So in what sort of geography or in what sort of residence senior citizens should be having some sort of a support from the local council. What is the support they should get? So if I have X number of hungry mouths to feed and I have Y resources, how do I go and prioritize based on data and experience and their actual need, that this is the way those Ys will break up into small delta X's and go to each one of them. That's what analytics can do for the people. I think it has a very important role for governments in India. In fact, just today afternoon, I was chatting up with one of my friends. Very simple, you go outside Delhi, you often find farmer agitations. What are the agitations for? One, they are mostly for inappropriate distribution of water, even within a state. Forget the Tamil Nadu, Karnataka fight. Even within a state, it is for inappropriate distribution of water for irrigation. Second, you will actually go and find lot of farmer deaths in agitations because the fertilizer did not reach them in time for the season. I think analytics has a pivotal role to play. I mean, I would say a human role to play there to sort out each of those issues. How should the water be distributed? What is the cropping pattern? Is that drip irrigation? When should the fertilizer reach the farmer? I think analytics applied to government can actually bring Achedin, or that's our pitch anyway. About PSUs, I think, even the very fact that the railways plans a dynamic pricing policy and then says, okay, at a certain point we shall have a rebate, has to be based on analytics and data. And yeah, that's the space.
Well, I think you have done it quite well because, a lot of people talk about analytics and then you're sitting in IIT, so it creates more confusion because, technology, analytics and all that, because it's not simple to understand all that. But what you said is basically what should be the moment and what should be the prediction and where it should go and what's the appropriate time for an activity. That's analytics for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's,
you
I
got
think,
it right, Paru. You stated it very well, better than me.
So my main thinking is that how can we help? My main thinking is helping the nation in the entire thinking. How many people will stand in the ATM line? We need to be prediction of today because 8th November changed, the entire world. With Trump coming and the entire, our way of demonetization and the way, because I am very pro demonetization. So we'll talk about that later. So I'll just, from Harbhajan Singh ji, I want to ask more from the productivity point of view. Like, for example, he spoke about technology, he spoke about analytics. If we combine technology and analytics, I think productivity will change and productivity will be enhanced. What do you think that, are we using technology and analytics in that productivity from the general perspective, because you have been in the Productivity Council and also leading the entire initiative. So I want to ask your comments about it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. PSU, they were the backbone for creating infrastructure in the country. And built a lot of infrastructure. And over the years, when the other industry was very nascent stage, they were responsible for creating a lot of infrastructure in the industrial sector. But over the years, what we have done, we have entered into many fields. And after the 91, when the market was open, we were not able to protect our PSUs. And what I feel that lot of PSUs who are there and who should be there in the forefront of the technology, they could not reach there, could not get there. So what one is I know IT is important and productivity is important, but our core industry, they need the technological base, and they need to strengthen it. They have to be market, because the PSUs, they had provided leadership to the industry. They had given the base for the industry, for other industry, and competition to the industry. So it's very important that if we have to provide that sort of leadership to the industry, the PSUs can play big role, and they have to be there with the latest technology. They have to develop the technology, and with that comes IT also. So that's what I feel. And not all the PSUs need to be there. A lot of PSUs which we don't need these days. So the PSU which are the core industry, they can play a leading role. Thank you.
No, thank you. I think this is quite apt in what you're saying, that the whole, what you can say, a partnership between technology and also looking at how the nation building, because before you came, I just spoke about the whole aspect about how PSUs have worked in creating this country, India, as how what you see India is today is because we are thankful to our colleagues and a lot of stakeholders who have contributed to the whole growth of PSUs. So now coming back to, Sanjeev, I am just, the last and the final round of this. I want to ask, what are the two things which you do differently sitting in your current company, which will change the way what we do, with the public sector and also looking at India? Because now I'm just saying I'm giving you two vows to take. And if those two vows are then successful, the way we see, that we operate will change. So I want the 2 minutes to you.
Sure, and I just want to add on what Jay was talking about. Before I give you two answers, one is in Microsoft. I just want to let you know that we are here. For example, outside the US, the largest place where Microsoft is available around the world is in India. Unfortunately, Satya Nadella, the global CEO, is from India as well. So we feel very proud of that. And I think it gives some motivation for us to move up in the ladder as well. However, the research and the engineering which has been done so far, for example, in agriculture, can you predict a day when a farmer can go and sow the seed? Can you predict a day? And just to take the Jay's comment on that, what we have done is we have picked up all the data all around the farmers, socioeconomic patterns, looked up the agriculture soil data, which have picked up the previous historical data of it from ICRISAT actually, and predicted first time in India that, hey farmers, please go sow your seed on so and so day. I'm very proud to say that the results of that has come out absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that's the way that as a Microsoft Technologies, we are able to bring that insights to the farmers. Second, can you actually predict a student in a class 9th whether he's going to drop out in a public school or not? We know socioeconomic conditions, employment patterns, money is not available, he or she might not be available. But can you actually predict by probability and then bring it advanced to the government decision-making process to say, do something, some intervention here, he or she will definitely get in drop next year. Again, very proud. We have done it, proved it, not in one state, with multiple states. And given this information to the decision makers, this is how we can change the lives of the people with the use of analytics, with the use of machine learning, with the use of big data. That's the two things we put an example. Ask is, from the technology side, technology or anything else is now a life of the business. My request is consider technology as not a support. Consider technology as your growth engine to find the new products, to find new market, to find new price models to serve the clients of yours. That's the one part I would request. And the second is, we have to understand the world is changing very fast. There are two terms, mobile first and a cloud first. I still use the word cloud, Jay. Mobile first and the cloud first. The way the things are happening around, the way the things are changing upon, until we start adopting that upfront with the layers of the productivity, the layers of analytics, I'm pretty confident we will be lagging behind. And I don't want the important pillar of PSUs lagging behind on that. So we'll be happy to collaborate more on that. That's it.
I think what Sanjeev you said, it's so good because it's great to hear. Because I run a very large consulting firm only for this, what you're saying, is working for social development sector. Consulting on CSR and social development. So I feel great if we could predict the whole aspect about how this will happen, and then we can take measures in classes, in schools, and in universities to say, if the present education is not working very well, then we can maybe give them some kind of counseling, skill development, and other thing. That would be such a great thing. So thanks for letting people know that this is happening now. So Jay, from your side, what are the two things which you want to bring to this country, which will change the way people are thinking?
Change the way people are thinking.
Or
I
will change
think
the way people's life will change, because when the phone came, because technology comes faster than the rules and regulations of the country. So because that's the technology I'm talking about. Yeah.
see, access to information and data must primarily impact and change the decision-making process. That's the first thing. Technology, either for business or people, we are very clear, is a way to build a strategy. You have to be able to build a strategy out of it. Yeah? Because there can be numerous sorts of predictions and probabilities. What is the actionable? That's one of the, so when we went out building our use cases with the people, with the market, the first question we got, what is the actionable? So that's where we actually had to evolve some of our own algorithms to say this is the actionable. That's the first thing, what is the actionable? The second thing is people at their own small level have to be able to build those actionables.
Correct.
I think. So I think when technology goes to the level of having apps for that, it's done.
I think that's quite rightly put, that technology will change, the technology will bring a lot of ways you look at it, and also the ways to bring that strategy. So just, and that's what you are trying to say, that use analytics and technology for the whole betterment of the humankind.
Either be it the individual or the corporate. It's a strategy.
Correct. So, sir, I will go to Mr. Harbhajan Singh. The whole thinking about the aspect of how we work, the productivity as such, two things which will change the way from your perspective.
What I feel, and I think that technology can reach to the people, and it can make the lives of the people more productive. But what we have to provide is that the infrastructure, today the infrastructure is not available to the people at that level where the technology can really can be made applicable. Like Sanjeev talked about schools and the farmers. Today the need is that our all that technology, all that infrastructure, it should reach the villages. It has not reached. What to talk of villages, even the smaller towns and the bigger towns. Today, if you want to if you want to transmit the information, I think there is a big challenge. There is a big challenge. Like, you have 60% enrollment in the government schools, and 35% are at the secondary level. What type of education levels we have at the government schools, and what type of information and the infrastructure we have created, or we are lacking. This is a big challenge for the technology to get transferred to these places.
I think that's great, and I want to wrap up this panel discussion with just to say that the way the technology, analytics, and productivity will work in the way of life now, I think that will pave the entire change on the entire technology and entire thinking about how people will feel, think, and predict. So thank you. I just wanted to thank all three of you for being a great panelist and also very informative in the thinking about how the change will happen to the masses and to the common man. Thank you so much. Thank you.